Let's go. Okay. This time I have a stand, so it might be not as shaky, but I am back in the car. I am going back to TSN, and yes, that is the ESPN of Canada. I'm going back to TSN because I have to revoice. Last week, we built a breakdown essay piece, Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. It was awesome. It's like we never left, Steve. And then Sunday night, I was in Stratford, got a phone call. It was my boss. He's like, did you see Max Holloway's out? I was seeing a terrible movie. It was Pacific Rim 2. It was terrible. I'm like, holy shit. So I drove back to Toronto, redid it with Max Holloway. And then today, I was getting ready to go back and revoice it with Anthony Pettis, but it is on. Al Iaquinta versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Before we do anything else, before we think, before we say we like, don't like, whatever, we should be very thankful for these guys. Very thankful. We should be thankful for Al Iaquinta stepping up to fight a monster, an undefeated monster. Now, my phone is dying, so I'm going to have to plug it in at some point, which means I'll have to take these out, which will mean I'll sound shittier. But this is, somebody says Raging Al has huge balls. Yes. We need to thank them. This is a very difficult, very challenging, potentially painful fight. And no, Felder and Pettis, their teammates, Duke corners them both. So Paul's probably out. But he can fight again in a couple weeks in Chicago. He can fight in Chicago. So we thank them. We thank Al Iaquinta for taking this. And we thank Khabib. We thank Khabib too. Because think of what he's gone through. Tony, and all the craziness that went with that. Then Max, young, stud, long, different, rangy, youthful, like hasn't been taken down in 17 attempts on his last number of fights. All of a sudden, McGregor's throwing shit at him and all that fucking nonsense. And then he's maybe fighting Anthony Pettis, former champion, brilliant kickboxer, brilliant Taekwondo-inspired youth, the kicks of his youth. Robin Black, are you excited for Rogan and Jimmy? Yes, I am. I'm always excited for. I don't tend to listen to the commentary. I don't want it to sway me. I want to see it a different way, but I will be listening because those are good, great guys. Joe's a great, good friend and a brilliant guy, and Jimmy's awesome. So good for them, and I think they'll have fun. They'll have a great time. They'll go out after. It'll be great. I'm a little jealous, but in a still admiring and happy for them kind of way. But man, that's the kind of shit I would love to be doing. But so anyways, Al Iaquinta steps up, and Khabib does too. Think of what he's been through, man. But then again, look at who he is. Look at how he's come up. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do this. So I'm very sorry it just got a lot shittier sounding, but hey. And think of what he's had to go through. But he was wrestling fucking bears. If you haven't seen it, you've seen it. He wrestled bears. So what do? For Khabib, not much changes. That's the beauty of guys like this. Khabib, that ONE FC guy with the curly hair, I forgot his name. It's been such a crazy day. Ben Askren. People like this, they fight the way they fight. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. And at their best, the best fighters in the world have the ability to fight in that way. Doesn't matter who it is. Al Iaquinta, no different strategically. Yes, he moves his feet different. It'll be a different challenge. It'll be harder in some ways, less challenging in others, more difficult. There'll be different threats and risks, but the strategy is the same. Close distance, get a grip, fight for that grip, improve that grip, get a better grip, get a body locker, get a hold that which one can draw somebody into that other battlefield, take them down, fight them as they resist that takedown, sometimes for minutes, but you will not give up, and you make sure that they will at one point. You squash them down, get to a more and more dominant position, crush, they get out, rinse and repeat. That's why it's so hard to fight. And you cannot discourage him. He's been this way since he was a little child. So, and then there you've got Al, last minute, crazy story of, all the kind of stuff that he has gone through. I mean, the fucking dude quit and became a real estate agent in the region. So he steps up to take this fight against the guy nobody wants to fight. Nobody wants to fight him. Now, of course, getting him $500,000 or a new contract with all kinds of bonuses, it'll be great for him. But he still has to go fucking fight this guy. He has to do it with everybody looking on. everybody looking at it. It says, somebody said he's getting paid $1 million. I haven't seen any of this yet. I've been just looking at, this stuff. I got a 1-minute breakdown just of how you have to. And listen, when I say, sometimes people are like, what's the game plan? The game plan, even if it is correct, doesn't mean it'll work. The right game plan can fail. The right game plan just puts you in it, gives you a chance. And we know what it is. You can't be squashed on the ground. So you have to stop from being dominated. You have to stop from being passed. You have to stop from being taken down. You have to stop him from grabbing you. You have to stop him from closing distance. You work your way out from the worst place, which is where Khabib wants, to the best place, which is where he doesn't have his hands on you. And you maintain that as best you can. Lateral movement, in and out movement. Tag him when you can. Strike backing up. When somebody's got a hold of you, disengagement, but also striking. Everybody seems to want to get out when Khabib gets a hold of him. Of course, that makes sense. Fuck, I don't want Khabib to have a hold of me and beating the crap out of me. But you break those and you strike. If you can't break him, you strike, because you know where he is. When somebody's holding your wrist, where are they? They're at the end of your arm. So there are moments. I didn't see Khabib's message to Connor. Al is the man. Yes, he is. Yes, it's official. Khabib time. Etc., etc. I'm thrilled that there's a fight. I'm thrilled for Al. Thrilled for Khabib that somebody steps up. And I'm just excited that these guys get to have this. I'm thrilled for them. I'm excited for Rose and Joanna that they can go back to what they were preparing for. They don't have to deal with it. They've had enough variables to deal with already. You can't say this stuff didn't distraction for Khabib, somebody says. Of course, but the Khabib brain is not like yours and mine, man. It's been trained differently. It's been built differently. It's made up of the same fabric. It's made up of the same collection of cells, but he's been trained differently. Somebody said hot lava. Yeah, hot lava. Hot lava, Khabib. The man is hot lava. What do you think about Al not fighting for the belt? I haven't heard that. If that's so, more power to him, man. Good for him. Look at that. Not even a fucking belt. He's got to go fight this guy. So, good for him. Also, bear in mind, there's a couple things. So, I put Chris Weidman in my corner. If I'm him, I haven't heard this yet, but I definitely put Chris Weidman in my corner because there'll be moments where you don't win certain battles, certain hand and positional battles. When you lose it, you move somewhere worse. I did spit. It was a little piece. It happens. You lose a battle and you now get to worse position. You got to win that one now and work your way back. So at least you have to make the right choices. One way to make the right choices is you have somebody figuring it out, assessing it, and feeding them to you. And that guy would be Chris Weidman. So I haven't heard this yet. I don't know if it's been mentioned. I don't know if it will come up. But watch for it. You heard it here first. We put Chris Weidman in my corner if it wasn't already a plan. Matt Serra, also a good plan, but I like Weidman. If you got three, Longo, Serra, Weidman, we got us a real good corner here. We got a guy who's ready to go. He's going to fight freely with nothing to lose. But he's fighting the best fighter in the world right now. Unstoppable guy. Khabib's been unstoppable. Let's appreciate Khabib for a moment, somebody said. No kidding. Think of him. Think of who this is. Somebody said something about Al Iaquinta's wrestling. The key to beating Khabib isn't wrestling. It's never wrestling. It's being in a situation where you don't wrestle. So if we're just comparing after scores, Khabib's a better wrestler. He's got a better wrestling than everybody. The answer isn't out-wrestle him. You can't. The answer is don't wrestle him. It's always the answer. Takedown defense is not the answer. It's barely a real thing, as you know. The answer is don't let him get... Somebody said go beat Khabib. But I'm not fighting Khabib. What are you, nuts? Are you insane? You're looking for a way to do it. There are ways to beat everyone. Even if you do everything right, you'll still potentially lose. That's what it is to fight the greatest. You have all the right... The answer, the right strategy or the right move or the right idea doesn't guarantee shit. It's not it's a way to be in it. And then when you're in it, you still have to be at your greatest. And even if you are, if he is, you will still not win. That's why these fights are so amazing. That's why these fights are amazing. They're not done. They're not figure it out, and then if you just do A, B, and C and practice it, you still have to go in there and fight. You have to win every position. You have to overcome your fears and your pain. You have to overcome all of these things. You have to do all of that, and you could still lose. And you're still probably going to get hurt. And you could still... Bruce Lee tattoo, I have two of them as well. I have two Bruce Lee tattoos. They're different. One is One is crash and one is flow. Anyways, so we have us a fight. You know what the strategy is. You got to do it. Even if you do it right, can still does. I said earlier, this is the strategy. I'm not coming up with any genius. Everybody knows this. Every fighter, when they sit around and they chat and they go, how the fuck would you fight this guy? They all have the same strategy. We need to do well from the outside and hurt him the closer he gets and keep disengaging. And it happens. Stop. Don't allow him to get real grips on you. It's got to start there. Don't let him get grips. Every fighter knows that. Every coach knows that. Every analyst knows that. Everybody knows it. Everybody. And if you try a different way, well, then it's not going to work. Is there some other way? Sure. There's always some other way. You catch him in some submission? Sure. But in all likelihood, you have an MMA, bro? Yeah, I fought 9 times as a professional. How about you? You hanging out in your mom's basement watching me? I know you're kidding probably, though, so I shouldn't be rude. Everybody has the same strategy. And that means nothing when it doesn't work. Because you try it, and you still have to win small battles. You have to win this grip battle. And if you can't beat him because your ability to break the grip and his ability to maintain and improve the grip, his is better than yours in that moment in time, then he wins that position. And even if it isn't and yours is better, his tenacity, he'll keep coming back and he may win it again. This is fighting. Fighting is not, well, you're better at this and he's better at that, therefore you win. Each of these things are a battle. They're always a battle. And something that's true, like you are better in half guard on top than he is half guard on the bottom, that changes as blood fills your nose and you get fatigued, and the focus, you start to focus is something you have to budget. Attention, you have to budget it, just like energy. And as you burn it out, and then all of a sudden it changes. What time is it? It's Khabib time. It is. So that's it. This is a brilliant fight. I'm so thankful to both of these guys. I'm so excited to be able to see it. I'm so excited for both of them. Khabib gets the chance to try to be 26-0, wear that belt, go on and make a stance with it, because a young man stepped up that we should appreciate. A man named Al Iaquinta stepped up and gave Khabib the chance to have the next big night, to still be undefeated and be able to say, Conor McGregor, whatever it is he wants to, whatever statement he wants to make, and start the next chapter of his life to go on to have like millions of dollars worth of fights, probably against McGregor in Russia. Don't buy the hype about being arrested and stuff. He is arrested, but things that make a lot of money, people find a way to make it work, right? So that's it. He gets that chance because Al Iaquinta is giving him that chance. Al Iaquinta gets the chance to have the best night of his life, to make a ton of money, and to have potentially beat the guy that nobody can beat. He has the chance to do that. And they get to do that, and they, at the end of this, they will appreciate each other in ways that we can never understand as regular people. I'm excited for them. I'm thrilled for them. I'm thrilled for Rosa and Joanna, and I'm heading out to do my TV job. I'm really glad to be able to just hang out and chat with you guys and be able to share ideas in my own way. So I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you very, very, very much. Saturday night. Enjoy the hostilities, my friends.